Hello everyone. We are the Reading Raptors of Shantiniketan Indian School. I am Nazia Tahseen. I am back with another story. And today's story is The Jack and the Beanstalk. So let's quickly read ahead. The story for this session is Jack and the Beanstalk. Before we read and understand the story, let's read the new words and get their correct pronunciation. Now, let us look at these new words and get their correct pronunciation. The first word is enormous. Enormous. Number two, shouted. Shouted. Number three, castle. Castle. Number four, chopped. Chopped. Number five, giant. Giant. Number six, master. Master. Number seven, harp. Harp. Number eight, beanstalk. Beanstalk. Number nine, crashed. Crashed. And the last word is cupboard. Cupboard. Now let's read the story. Once upon a time, there was a boy called Jack. He lived with his mother. They were very poor. All they had was a cow. One morning, Jack's mother told Jack to take their cow to the market and sell her. On the way, Jack met a man. He gave Jack some magic beans for the cow. Jack took the beans and went back home. When Jack's mother saw the beans, she was very angry. She threw the beans out of the window. The next morning, Jack looked out of the window. There was a giant beanstalk. He went outside and started to climb the beanstalk. He climbed up to the sky through the clouds. Jack saw a beautiful castle. He went inside. Jack heard a voice. Fee, fee, fo, fum. Jack ran into a cupboard. An enormous giant came into the room and sat down. On the table there was a hen and a golden harp. Lay, said the giant. The hen laid an egg. It was made of gold. Sing, said the giant. The harp began to sing. Soon the giant was asleep. Jack jumped out of the cupboard. He took the hen and the harp. Suddenly, the harp sang, "Help, master!" The giant woke up and shouted, "Fee, fee, fo, fum!" Jack ran and started climbing down the beanstalk. The giant came down after him. Jack shouted, "Mother, help!" Jack's mother took an axe and chopped down the beanstalk. The giant fell and crashed to the ground. Nobody ever saw him again. With the golden eggs and the magic harp, Jack and his mother lived happily ever after. I hope you might have enjoyed the story. Now let's read at these words again. The first word, enormous. Number 2, shouted. Number 3, castle. Number 4, chopped. Number 5, giant. Number 6, master. Number 7, harp. Number 8, beanstalk. Number 9, crashed. And the last word is cupboard. Now let's understand the meanings of these words through word investigation. And the first word is enormous. Enormous means very large in size. Number 2, shouted. Shouted means to speak with a very loud voice, usually when you want to make your voice heard in noisy situation. Number 3, castle. The word castle means a large, strong building built in the past by a ruler or important person. Number 4, chopped. Chopped means to cut something into pieces with an axe, knife, or other sharp instrument. I chopped the vegetables for the stew. And the last word is giant. Giant is an imaginary creature like a man but extremely tall, strong, and usually very cruel, appearing specially in children's stories. Synonyms. Synonyms means word having the same meaning. Now let's find out the synonyms of some words through dissection of words. And the first word is enormous. Enormous synonym can be huge, massive. Number 2, shouted. Another word for shouted can be scream or yell. Number 3, castle. Number 4, chopped. And number 5, giant are few words that you have to find these synonyms for. Now, since we know the meanings and synonyms of the word, it will be very easy to find out the antonyms of those same words. Let's look at the first word. The first word is enormous. So, antonym of enormous can be miniature or minute. Number 2, shouted. Antonyms of shouted can be quiet, murmur. Number 3, castle. Number 4, chopped. And number 5, giant are the words that you need to find the antonyms for. Now let's move ahead to sentence creation. Remember, every time you create a sentence, your sentence should be meaningful. So the first word is enormous. A sentence with enormous can be, they bought an enormous house in the suburbs. Number 2, shouted. The fans were screaming and shouting out the names of the band members. Number 3, castle. We visited an ancient ruined castle overlooking the sea. Number 4, quarrel. And number 5, promised are the words that you have to create sentences for. Remember, your sentence should be meaningful. Now let's move to the last segment of this session, that is comprehending. Comprehending means understanding of the passage or the content. Now let's look at the question number 1, that is, what did Jack's mother ask him to do? Now remember, we can write our answers from the question itself, and our answers should always be in past tense. So Jack's mother asked him to take the cow to the market and sell her. Now I have an assignment for you. You have to write the answers for the given question. Remember, your answers should always be in past tense. You can write your answers from the question itself. So question number 2 is, what was mother's reaction after Jack went back home? Question number 3 is, what happened with Jack on his way back home? Remember, your answer should be in past tense. You can begin your answer from the question and add your own thoughts and points to your answer.